It's the saddest day of the year. It's time for an unhaul. No. Hello Bookworm family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Danny. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell because I am posting a ton for December because it's Vlogmas. And if you guys are not already following me on Instagram, please be sure to do that. It is at _dancing_bookworm. I post on there full book reviews and bookish content. It is a sad day today, my friends, but it is a necessary day. It is an unhaul. I don't know exactly how many books I'm unhauling, so we're gonna count it at the end, but I want to roughly say maybe 50. I thought maybe 60, but looking at the pile, I don't know. But I am unhauling a bunch to make room for new books for the new year. Some of these books I have read. Some of them I got in book boxes or through people that I just feel like I'm not gonna really enjoy. So I have them separated into two different things. So the first section I'm going to show you guys are books that I'm literally just giving my friend because she is trying so hard to get into reading and I want to fill her bookshelf. So I'm giving her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books alone. And then the rest are books that I am either donating to schools or selling. I am not donating any to the thrift store because we're not really supposed to be leaving stuff outside that area right now in my county. So I'm going to offer them to some of my teacher friends or just sell them on a garage sale site. And if I can't find anyone to take them, I'm just going to put them in storage until the thrift shop or Salvation Army or whatever opens up and I can drop things off there, or the library because nothing's open right now in my county. I mean, there are things open. I can't say nothing's open, but they're literally going to close it down by the end of the week. They've already said. So just gotta wait until somebody can take these. But right now I just have them all kind of separated and put in storage for the second until I give these to my friend, which I'll probably do next week. But yeah, so I have separated each of the sections. So the first section is separated into children's books, young adult, and adult, because there is no middle grade that I felt like she would really love. I'm sure there is, but I just didn't want to part with any of the ones that I really enjoy, so she doesn't get those. But I have encouraged her to read middle grade because I think it's amazing, but I just don't want to part with too many of my middle grade. So yeah, so I'm going to show you guys which ones I'm giving away, but I don't know what all of them are about because I haven't read all of them. So if I don't know what they're about, I'll just tell you the title and the author. If I know what they're about, then I might tell you what they're about, but if I don't, like, it's okay because there's a lot of books here. But for some of them I might tell you specifically why I'm unhauling them. Actually, for all of them I'll probably tell you why I'm unhauling them, but I'm also trying not to make this a 4-hour video, so let's just jump into it and see how this goes. So the two picture books I'm donating to my friend are because she just has a new baby nephew. He's very, very tiny. He's only a couple weeks old and he's very cute from the pictures. So I just wanted to give her a couple picture books. So the first one is You Are Special by Max Lucado. This is a Christian-based book because her sister who had the baby is a Christian. But this is about a little puppet who doesn't have a place in the world. He doesn't have spots. He doesn't have stars. Or he does have spots. He has lots of spots, which are bad. And some people have lots of stars, and people look down on him because he has lots of spots. But then he meets somebody who has no spots at all, and he doesn't understand how that's possible. So he meets the puppet maker, and the puppet maker tells him that the only judgment that matters is his. So it's a very classic Christian kind of moral there. But I'm getting rid of this just because I still identify as a Christian, but I just don't. There's certain things about my faith and stuff that I'm just kind of working through. This was also a gift from somebody I no longer speak to, so we're just gonna give it away. And then the next one is Your Name is a Song by Jamila Tompkins Bigelow, sorry. This song is literally about learning how to pronounce people's names, and I just butchered that, so I suck. I'm only giving this away because I have 2 copies of it. This is about a little girl who nobody can pronounce their name, so her mom teaches her how to sing her name, and that way it's easier for people to understand how to say her name. This is a beautiful book, excellently written, really talks about cultural like diversity and how we can't just make everything white pretty much. Like, we have to learn people's names even if they're difficult. You can't just like go around and be like, meh, I don't really care about learning your name. So I love this book. But again, we had 2 copies here, so my nieces and nephew have one, and then we have this extra one, so I'm giving this to my friend. So then the YA books I'm giving her are, the first ones are Divergent and 4. I don't know much about 4. I know Divergent just based off the movie. I'm sure everybody does. I really don't picture myself ever reading Divergent, but I feel like it's something she might enjoy. I've had it on my shelf for years, and every time I go to pick it up, I'm just like, no, just not my thing. Which is weird because I love The Hunger Games, but I feel like if you love The Hunger Games, Divergent and The Hunger Games came out at the same time, so I feel like you just like had your loyalty to one or the other, and mine is The Hunger Games, so I don't know. I'm just not really into reading that. The next one I'm really struggling with parting with, but I think it's a good one for her to read. I definitely think it's also a good one to get her into reading because it's so short and it's written in verse. But it's For Everyone by Jason Reynolds, and it's just really a book that builds you up. It's about his life as a 20-something and how he thought he'd have it all together by now, but he doesn't, and how he's okay with that. So I think it's just a positive book for 20-somethings, 30-somethings to read. So yeah, so I'm gonna give her this one just because I feel like it's such a good book for her to read. The next one I don't really know much about other than that it's got like a Japanese witchy vibe to it. I kept it around because it's 7 Deadly Shadows, and I literally am obsessed with the 7 Deadly Sins, but I just didn't really have any connection with reading this. This is by Courtney Alameda and Valian E. Maitani. I can't say that. I'm so sorry. I am the worst at pronouncing names, and I know that's horrible, and I should learn. I can't remember if this is a signed copy now, but I did get this in a book box, and it just didn't ring anything exciting to me. I kept it because I was like, oh, I love the 7 Deadly Sins, but I don't actually think it has anything to do with the 7 Deadly Sins, so just gonna give that away. But I feel like my friend will like it, and it's like brand new, so I didn't want to just like donate it. The next one is The State of Us by Sean David Hutchinson. Is this one signed? No, I don't think this one's signed either. But this is just a political gay romance. It's like a Romeo and Juliet with gay guys kind of thing, because one dad's a Republican, one dad's a Democrat, or something like that, and they're forbidden from each other, but, you know. Not my cup of tea, because I just don't really like that kind of stuff, but she might. So, again, she was just like, give me whatever, I don't know what I like, what I don't like, so I'm just kind of giving her a hodgepodge, but, like, I know there are certain topics that she's interested in, so going with that. The next one I'm giving her is Fallen by Lauren Kate. I know nothing about this book. I think there's like something dark and mysterious about it, but I don't know if it's fantasy or not. I don't know. I'm definitely judging it by the cover and saying she'll like it based on the cover. And then the next one is The Gathering Storm by Robin Bridges. Did I get this in a book box? I can't ever remember what I got in a book box. No, I think I got this. It was a book box, but it wasn't like your standard book box. It was like a book bundle box. Again, no idea what this is about. It just is like brand new, and I don't know. I just want to give her options, so that's really, I'm getting rid of that. I have no idea what it's about. So then we're moving on to the adult books that I'm specifically giving my friend. And the first one is On Dublin Street by Samantha Young. This is like, I don't know if it's just a basic romance or an erotica. Either way, it's heterosex, and I'm not interested. That's that. The Liar by Nora Roberts. I don't know what I think about Nora Roberts, but again, I'm pretty sure there's heterosex in here, and I just don't care. I just don't care. So I'm giving it to my, well, straightish friend. But yeah, I just don't care. I don't care. The next one I have to cover up because there's inappropriate things on the cover, but this is Mating by Norman Rush, and this kind of is more like, I don't know if it's fiction or not. Yeah, it says it's fiction, but it like looks at the life of people and sex. I don't actually know. I have no idea. But again, there's just nope. Just no, just no, just no. I give her weird things because I don't ever know what she'll like and what she won't like. So like sometimes I'm like, this seems too weird for me, but she'll be like, are you kidding? That sounds awesome. So well, it's just my friendship with her. I love her. She's great. But just there are some things that I'm like, nope. And she's like, this is amazing. So the next one is They Poured Fire on Us from the Sky. This is by Benson Dang, Alphonsian Dang, and Benjamin Ajak. And these are about 3 boys from the Sudan who got sent to America. I have not read this yet. I heard good things about it, but I also found it on other websites and stuff, like ebooks, and I feel like I would prefer an ebook because I can make the font a little bigger. You guys know I don't like to read small font, it just bothers my eyes. But she is very much into the Black Lives Matter movement and very into support for other countries, third world countries, making sure everybody has their proper rights. So I think that she would really enjoy this book. And that one's nonfiction, so. Then we have One Day in December by Josie Silver. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate every straight romance book, but I'm just not in the mood for a straight romance book lately. And if I want to clear off room on my shelves, I'm going to replace my straight romance with lesbian romance because that's more what I'm interested in, obviously. I don't know what this is about, but I'm assuming it's like some Christmas standard romance. Then I'm giving her The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. I've never read this. I'm not really interested in reading this, but I know that I feel like she was like obsessed with the movie when we were younger. Either her or her mom was obsessed with the movie. I can't remember, but I remember that movie was always in her like DVD player when I would be over to her house, and I don't know if she watched it a ton or her mom watched it a ton, but whoever can read the book. And then the last one that I'm giving specifically to my friend is Dog Days Dispatches from Bedlam Farm by John Katz. This was just a cute little book about a farm and the animals on it and just kind of how they go about everyday life. It's not something I'm super interested in, but she really loves animals and she loves like kind of like natural and kind, compassionate farm life. I'm not thinking of the right word for that. It's not natural. It's I can't think of the word for it right now. I'm sure somebody can comment down below the right word. But yeah, so this one I'm giving her because I just am not interested in it, but I think that she would really enjoy it, So those are all that I'm giving my friend. So now let's move on to the books that I'm either donating or selling. Okay, sorry if my camera angle changed, like desperately changed, but I needed to move because I didn't have enough room to put all the books. So for this section, I have organized them by like younger readers, classic middle grade, young adult, Christian adult, and regular adult, because that's how I'm going to sell them for the ones that I choose to sell, is in those categories. So let's get going. So for the younger children books, I did it like 4th grade and younger, I think was the reading level. So I am getting rid of Happy's Big Plan by Kristen Earhart. I did read this with Ava. Neither of us were really into it, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. School Days According to Humphrey by Betty G. Birney. I read the first one. I thought it was super cute, but I'm not going to do anything with one book out of the series, so. Then the first Dragon Slayer Academy book, The New Kid at School, Kate McMullen wrote this. Just not super interested in it. I read it already, but it's just not something I want to hang on to. So then I have a Goosebumps book, Scream of the Evil Genie, but I'm also getting rid of Slappy Birthday to You at the end of the month because I just read it this month and it didn't really do anything for me, so I'm getting rid of 2 Goosebumps books, just because I didn't really care much about them. I loved the Goosebumps books growing up, but I don't need them now, because I've read most of them as a kid, and whatever. So then the next one I'm doing is Haunted Castle on Hallows Eve. This is a Magic Treehouse book, and this is by Mary Pope Osborne. I'm not hanging on to the Magic Treehouse books, even though it was my favorite series as a kid, just because they're all on YouTube audiobooks, so I don't really need the books to take up space on my shelf. I think one day when I have like a full library in my house, I will get all the Magic Treehouse books again for like Ava and Jacob and Riley to read when they're older. But right now I just don't have space for it on my shelf, and I don't want to own all of them. So, and then the last one of the younger readers is Katie Kazoo Switcheroo, I Hate the Rules by Nancy Krulik. Ava enjoyed this, but not enough to hang on to it, so just tossing this one. Not tossing it, but like donating it just because it's cute, but again, it's part of a series, so don't really need to hang on to one book. So my next stack is classic middle grade books or classic YA books that I just don't intend to read. I'm not a big fan of classic middle grade, like these kind of ones that I'm about to show you, because they were very, they didn't age well, and a lot of it's not true to today, so I don't want to encourage younger readers to read them, because like when I read Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, I was really not happy about it because it just didn't age well, and like everything that it taught girls about self isn't like positive now, so I think I would have liked it if it was updated, but no. So for that same reason, I'm getting rid of some of these. So the first one I'm getting rid of is starring Sally J. Friedman as herself by Judy Blume, also who wrote Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. Again, just something that didn't age well. Then there's Dark Horse by Jean Slaughter Doty. I don't know anything about this book, but the time period for this one, it was written in 83. So again, when I'm saying classic, I just mean like books that didn't age well past like their time period, so like 70s, 80s, or earlier than that. Children of the River by Linda Crew. I don't really know what this one's about, but again, it's just an older middle grade that I'm not really interested in. The Bobbsey Twins, The Blue Poodle Mystery. I thought I would read some Bobbsey Twins, but I just don't wanna. Just not interested in it. And then Return to Sender by Kevin Henkes. Again, I don't super know what this is about, but I'm not really interested in it. And then lastly, we have a Full House, a Stephanie book, Never Trust a Flamingo. I did love Full House growing up, but I have no desire to read a Full House book. It was like my favorite show growing up, but just don't care about it now. Okay, moving on, we have just regular, more modern middle grade, or middle grade that's like more popular because of the author. So the first 4 are actually all Wayside School books. They're all by Louis Sachar. I just don't have any desire to read this series. I like Louis Sachar. Sachar, however you say it. I've read Holes and Small Steps. I've really enjoyed his work. I just don't care about this series, so some kid out there will. The next one is Warriors Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. I really was going to try to read this because kids, when I was in high school, 9th grade, I had a friend who really enjoyed this. I had a friend when I was in 8th grade really enjoy this. And I also had a bunch of dancers enjoy this. But what is the date on this? Because I just realized that's a long time ago. The kids still enjoy this book. Because I was in high school a long time ago. 2003. Dang, this book is old, older than I expected it to be. But yeah, I have kids who really enjoy it at dance class. I really don't see myself reading about the cat warriors. It's just not my cup of tea, guys. So then I have Dolphin Song by Lauren St. John. Literally have no idea what this is about. Just came in a book bundle box, so just gonna get rid of that one. Then I have a Keys to the Kingdom book. This is Drowned Wednesday by Garth Nix. This is the 3rd in a series, so I don't really care about continuing like reading it or getting into a new series. The next one is Train to Impossible Places by P.G. Bell. You guys know that I just recently read this. It's about a girl named Susie who a train drives through her house in the middle of the night. She climbs aboard and is taken to a magical world where she ends up becoming a criminal. I didn't care for it, and I was sad that I didn't care for it because a lot of booktubers love it. Like the people that I usually go to for my booktube really enjoyed it, and like my middle grade reads and stuff like that, I just did not like it at all. So I mean, I think I gave it like a 2 or 3 star. It wasn't like I hated it. I just can't ever see myself reading it again. I don't want to collect the series. So unfortunately I'm getting rid of this one, but it's in super nice condition, so this will be definitely one that I sell. The next one I have is 12 Again by Sue Corbett. I think this is on my Books with a Deadline which I think a couple more of the books on my shelf are also on books with a deadline, which I'm going to go through later in this month, but I just don't see myself reading this, even if it is on books with a deadline, because if I haven't read it yet, and it's December, man, I don't see myself reading it anytime soon, so, yeah. I don't even know what it's about. So then I have Bug, Big Ugly Guy by Jane Yolen and Adam Stempel. Again, no idea what it's about. Came in a book box. No clue. So then I'm also getting rid of Refugee by Alan Gratz. I did enjoy this book. I think it was a 4-star for me. And I do really like Alan Gratz writing. However, I bought this book because of somebody that I no longer talk to. It was her favorite author, and now kind of reading Alan Gratz kind of just puts a bad taste in my mouth because it reminds me of her. So I just am not super big into Alan Gratz anymore. Not because I don't like his writing. He's a very talented writer. It just puts a bad taste in my mouth. You know when you have those people in your life that you're like, ugh, that reminds me of them? That's what this is. However, I do think that this is a great book for middle schoolers, and I do have a bunch of middle school teacher friends, so I might just donate this to a middle school classroom because I do think it's a really good book for middle schoolers. The next one I have no idea. This is 4 books in one. It's called Madison Finn BF4E, Best Friends Forever. So I don't know. It's just a bunch of books in one, and it seems dumb, so I'm not saving it. So then I have 2 books by the same author. I have True Confessions by Janet Tashijan and My Life as a Book by Janet Tashijan. I did read True Confessions this year. I loved the movie, the Disney movie growing up, but I just felt like this was kind of not as good. It was a little bit more insensitive to people who have, disabilities and stuff like that. And then just because it's the same author and I didn't really care for this one, I'm just throwing that in the pile as well because and then this one I don't 100% know if I'm getting rid of it or not, but I think I'm probably going to, but I have the other one up on my shelf, so if I do get rid of this one, I'll also get rid of that one, but it's on my TBR for this month, so I have to read it first. But it's The Last Kids on Earth and The Nightmare King, and I have The Last Kids on Earth, like the first book, on my TBR for this month for Dangerous Setting for Believe-a-thon. I want to like this series, but again, it's a series, and I just don't know how many series I want to hang on to right now. So it kind of depends on if I like the other book or not, so this may be given away, or it may be held on to. I don't really know, but this is the 3rd book, and I have the 1st book, so I'd have to buy the 2nd book to read the 3rd book. So again, I'm torn. I'm torn about this. I feel like that was a lot of middle grade, and I'm really sad about it, because I thought I had really good middle grade on my book, but I guess, or on my bookshelves, but I guess I have to go buy new middle grade now, because I just got rid of a lot of it. So now we're going to move into young adult. So the first one I have is The Running Dream by Wendelin Van Draenen. I read this a couple months ago. 3 or 4 months ago maybe. It is about a girl who is a track runner, and she loses her leg in an accident, and she has to learn to run track with a fake leg. I just felt like it wasn't logical, like it's not based off a true story, and I just felt like it was coming from like a weird, I don't know, just like a weird, like not fully understanding the situation place. So yeah, I'm gonna be donating this one. I just didn't super care for how it was written. So then I have 2 that I have no idea what they're about. This is The Demonata Slaughter by Darren Shan and Lockwood and Company, The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. These were on my Unhaul a while ago, and I just never actually unhauled them. I just hung on to them for some stupid reason, so I'm actually unhauling them. I have no idea what they're about. Then I have 13 Gifts by Wendy Mass. This is Ben. I am pretty sure this is another one that's on my books with a deadline that I just don't foresee myself reading this month. It's not on my TBR, so I don't really want to read it. But this is about, I think this is a series. I don't know what it's about, but I'm pretty sure this is a series. There's like 12 gifts, 13 gifts, 14 gifts, something like that. But it's like something about a birthday. I don't know. Just not really interested in it. I got it at a bookstore and I was like, oh, I would like this. So the next one I'm getting rid of is Shooter by Carolyn Pigna, I don't know. But this is about a school that is under a lockdown because they think there is a shooter in the building. And the kids are kind of locked into a room together, like a Breakfast Club situation. Like, they're all from different areas, but like in a super dangerous setting. Yeah, it's not as thrilling as I wanted it to be. It was more like emotional, and I wanted it to be more of a thriller, which obviously like is an emotional, but it wasn't like emotional like because there was a shooter in the school. It was emotional because like they were like breakfast clubbing and like getting to know each other and stuff like that, and it's just, I wanted it to be more epic than what it was, and it just kind of left me flat. So the next two I'm getting rid of are Pretty Little Liars and Flawless. I just have no desire to read these. These are by Sarah Shepard. I just don't care. I did like watch the first season of Pretty Little Liars and never really got past it, so. The next one I have is Emancipated by M.G. Reyes. This is about 6 kids who choose to emancipate themselves and live together in California, but there was a murder and one of them is harboring a big secret, so yeah. I read this not too long ago, and if you guys watched that vlog or you guys watched any of those wrap-up videos, you know that the reason I did not like this is because it did not answer questions by the time it was done, and it's a series, and I have no desire to continue on with the series because so many questions were left unanswered. Like, I get the author probably left the questions unanswered so you'd want to read more of the series, but I need at least a little bit of a wrap-up to make me want to continue on, and that book didn't, so now it's being unhauled. And then I have Let It Snow, which is John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle, but then I also have Paper Towns by John Green. I'm just not a John Green fan. I've tried, and Let It Snow was cute. Like, one of the stories in it was cute, but the other ones I didn't really care about, and I want to like John Green, I just don't. I just have no desire to continue reading any of his books. I don't know if I've actually read a full one of his books, because Let It Snow is 3 different short stories, so I don't think I've ever actually read a full just John Green book, but I've started a bunch and I just can't get through them. I don't know why. It's just not my writing style that I like, I guess. I don't know. So the next section I have is Christian adult books. Again, it's not that I'm like denouncing my faith or anything like that. I still classify as a Christian. I just want to be able to read Christian books where it's not against who I am, which is really hard to find. I hope one day somebody writes something like that, or if not, somebody is me and I write something like that where I can incorporate not only faith but acceptance of the LGBTQ community, acceptance of just everyone, because I just feel like some of these are very anti-accepting, so and they're very much like man and woman kind of writing. So I did enjoy these when I read them, the ones that I've read, but I don't feel accepted in them, so I don't want to keep owning them, if that makes sense. So the first one is Just Between You and Me by Jenny B. Jones. This was a 5-star book for me when I did read it, but again, it's very much like hetero woman needs man, can't function without man kind of lifestyle. But when I did read this, there were some really good elements. There's a great aunt and niece bond that I really loved in it. But again, I just can't hang on to something that doesn't represent me kind of thing. But again, there was a great aunt and niece bond, and if you're into Christian fiction, I highly do recommend that one. The next one is Nipped in the Bud by Susan Sleeman. This was a romance mystery. It was cute. I don't think I loved it. I think I gave it like a 3-star. I read it a while ago, but it was cute. It just wasn't like my most favorite thing that I've ever read. But again, this was another thing that where it was like, woman is completely messed up without man's help, and I can't get behind those things. So then the next one is Heaven is for Real by Todd Burpo. I just don't know enough about this to know how much I believe it kind of thing, or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably offending people, but I just don't know how much of it's true, and it's written as truth, so I don't know. I just don't want to hang on to it because I just don't know. And then the other one I have is Emily Ever After by Ann Dayton and May Vanderbilt. This one I got with the person that I'm no longer talking to, and we were going to read it together. Never read it together, but now it has that bad taste in my mouth. So it's going away. So yeah, so those are the 4 Christian books. I'm pretty sure I only have 1 Christian book left on my shelf, and that's because it's the only one that, like, openly talks about accepting people, and it's nonfiction. So, what you gonna do? But yeah, so those are those ones that are getting bye-bye. Alright, we've made it to the last stack, the regular old adult books. I probably will, if I sell these ones, separate them by, like, mystery, romance kind of stuff, but for right now they're just in a stack. I think it's larger than my middle grade stack, because I like adult books the least, says the 28-year-old. I just can't get behind some of them. But most of them are just, like, things that I just would not be interested in. So the first one is Vanessa and her sister. I have no idea what this is about, but I think it takes place in like 1905. Not that I'm against historical fiction, just doesn't look exciting. I'm definitely judging it by its cover, especially because the cover's bent, so I have no desire to keep that. Like, it came to me bent, so. The next one I have is Dibs in Search of Self by Virginia M. Axline. When was this published? This is 1964. This is about, I think it's about a little boy who has, like, autism or something, and people don't understand him, but it's 1964, so people are jerks about it, kind of thing. I'm not 100% sure if that's what it's about, but I have no desire to read this because I don't like the way people were treated. Period. I don't like the way people are treated, period, but especially people with disabilities or mental health issues back in the 60s, especially after reading Girl Interrupted, that one. I was like, this is not real, but it was. The next one I have is Picture Perfect by Fern Michaels. This is actually given to me by a family friend because it's about an aunt. However, it's about an aunt who loses her nephew and he gets kidnapped. So I feel like in order to save myself from heartbreak and nightmares that I will lose my nephew, I just need to get rid of this one. The next one is Talk Before Sleep by Elizabeth Berg. I literally have no idea what this is about. It just, you know, came to me in a book box and I don't know anything about it, so. The next one I'm getting rid of is The Night Olivia Fell, and this is by Christina McDonald. I did read this one. This is about a girl named Olivia who is pushed off a bridge and everybody thinks she jumped, except her mom is determined that she was murdered, and she goes out and tries to investigate it herself. I didn't hate this book. I feel like I gave it a 3-star. I read it this year. I don't remember hating it, but I do remember it being less mystery and more of an emotional roller coaster, and that's why I'm getting rid of it, just because I didn't hate it. I just wanted more of a mystery from it. The next one is Burn by Helen Hart. This is part of a romance series. It's number 5 in a romance series, so I have no reason to hang on to it. Plus, I'm not a super big romance person. Then we have Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet by Jamie Ford. No idea what this is about. I think it takes place in 1986 in Japan. No, Japantown. Seattle. Takes place in Seattle's Japantown, it says. Just not interested. So the next one is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I have heard so many mixed things about this, about how the narrator is whiny and self-centered and self-absorbed, and then I've heard that she's just really into self-care and how it's a positive book. You know what? I can't do that battle in my head. I can't decide if self-care in a book is positive or negative, so we're just gonna get rid of it because I am 100% supportive of self-care, and I think everyone needs self-care, and I can't live a life where I'm like, people think that this is selfish, but I do it all the time, so we're just not gonna read the book. We're just not gonna read it. Not gonna get into that. The next one is The Memory Keeper's Daughter. This is by Kim Edwards. I'm pretty sure this was another one that's on my books at the deadline, but this is about a father whose daughter has Down syndrome, and he gets rid of her or tries to kill her, one of the things, when she's a baby, but then he decides to give her away or something. I don't know. Oh, he gives her away to an institution. Yeah, and it's got a bunch of family secrets in it and stuff. I can't read sad books about kids with Down syndrome because my nephew has Down syndrome, and I can't do it to myself. I read recently The Good Hawk by Joseph Eliot, and it was such a positive portrayal of what people with Down syndrome can do that I can never, ever, ever read a book about somebody with Down syndrome in a negative way. ever. I think that it was the most beautifully written book with a character with Down syndrome that I have ever read, and it's like my hope for my nephew that he can be as powerful as the girl in that book. So yeah, I just never want to read anything sad about people with Down syndrome, like, just because I think my nephew can conquer the world. He already pretty much has. He's definitely conquered our household anyway. So the next one is Enslaved by Ducks by Bob Tart. No idea what this is about, but it just looks weird. I don't want to read this. This looks weird, and I like ducks. It's just, why am I enslaved by a duck? What political view is it going to tell me? I don't want to know. So the next one is Lisa Scottoline, Most Wanted. I literally didn't even know this was on my shelf. That's how bad that is. Didn't know it was on my shelf. And then I was like, what is this? And then I skimmed the back, still don't know. Something about a woman who wants a baby and gets pregnant, but then the donor gets arrested. I don't care. I don't care. The next one I have is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I am so torn between this because I've heard so many good things about it. I know people really enjoyed the movie. The person who gave this to me absolutely loved it. I think if I choose to read this, I'm going to listen to it on audiobook. I do a lot better with like psychological thrillers on audiobooks because it creeps me out more and it gets me into it more. And this, again, I just can't do big books with tiny print. And this isn't even that tiny. It's just, I just feel like I'll prefer it. Like, I really loved You and Hidden Bodies because I listened to them on audiobook, and I feel like if I read them, like, as a paperback or whatever, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. So, that's what I'm gonna do for that one instead of hanging on to the book. And then the last one I have is The Gift of an Ordinary Day, A Mother's Memoir by Katrina Kennison. Oh, is this? I think this is a Christian book. I think I have to put this in the Christian books. But it's about a mom whose son's trying to go to college. I don't really know what this is about, but it says that she also wrote a book called Mitten Strings for God, and the people that have reviewed it are Christian-based places. So who's the publisher? Grand Central Publishing. I don't know if that's a Christian base or not, but I think I gotta put this on my Christian books. But yeah, so those are all the books that I am unhauling, and I did do a count while I stopped the video for a second. 70 books. 70 on the dot. I had 16 for my friend and 54 that I'm donating or selling. 70 books. I can't believe I got rid of 70 books. Oh my gosh, I want to have like a heart attack about it, but I did it. Phew. It is the saddest day ever for me, but it needs to happen so the new books can come to my life. And that's what it's all about, is getting the new books in my life. And giving books to people, but also getting the new books in my life. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and keep watching Vlogmas. Bye!
Wasn't that a great video? Clearly books make me very happy. Now you can make me happy too. Click the subscribe button to follow my channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you think I did good. And the notification bell will let you know when I post new content. Also, follow my Instagram for more book shenanigans.